Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to Real Estate Advice. In today's episode, you'll learn about the importance of home buyer education and where you can find it near you. My name is Andrew Finney. Please consider me a real estate geek. I'm always here to help. If you need help finding a top agent where you live, or if you simply want to drop me a line and say hi, my contact info is below. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. So let's go ahead and start talking about the importance of home buyer education. You know, preparing to buy your first home, or even if you're the seasoned home buyer preparing to get back into the market and buying a home, an educated buyer becomes a successful home buyer. So being more educated about the home buying process, knowing where to go, things to look at, how to form plans about your credit, budgeting, financing, selecting a home, finding the best homeowners insurance, learning more about closing, property taxes and taxes in general, and the different forms of agency that have to do with working with a buyer agent, then these things are really important and really helpful to you. So let's go ahead and lead in with 4 really good links that you can use right now. I'll put these 4 links in the show more description below. Feel free to refer back to them after you finish watching this video. So they're actually made available through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Now, if you ever see like HUD is the acronym for the Housing and Urban Development, and what the Housing and Urban Development does, or HUD if you will, what they do is they simply oversee federal programs designed to create quality and affordable homes for everybody. And the HUD website offers a wealth of information for home buyers, including the ones I'm going to give you now. So the first one is a home buyer's guide. The link is below. The second one is a mortgage guide, learning more about how to shop for a mortgage and questions you should be asking a loan officer. The third one is if you actually want to purchase a HUD home, HUD homes that are for sale nationwide, and they can break it down by state for you as well, and how to buy one, the steps involved. It's a little bit different than just buying a normal house, buying a new home construction. When you're looking at a HUD home, the process is a little bit different. So, and then they're going to give you some really wonderful state-specific information about buying homes in your state, lending programs in your state, and things that can assist you as well. Now, HUD also offers counseling for potential homeowners and can help you connect with loan officers in your local area, local loan officer, that are really good at helping with FHA loans. FHA loans for most people is a very common loan type that many people pursue for a low cost of a down payment and getting into their new home. Now, FHA does have county limits, and it is important to talk to your local loan officer to find out what your county limits are in your area as well. A VA loan is another popular option that a lot of people explore and take advantage of. The only trick with a VA loan is that you have to be either an honorably discharged veteran, or you need to be a active duty personnel. So if you haven't served in the military, or you're not currently active duty, then the VA loan option is going to be out at the door for you. The next thing that it's important for you to know about is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Now, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is another acronym, of course, CFPB. And what they do is that they work to protect you and your financial interests, and educating you with more of the financing options that you have available to you, educating you about different loan options, educating you about costly surprises that can happen at the closing table if you weren't best prepared. However, since you're watching this video, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're an educated and savvy home buyer, and that you're doing everything right, and that's why you clicked on this video to begin with, was to learn how to be a successful home buyer when you get ready to buy your new home. And for that, I just want to say thank you and great job. So if you want to check out more from the CFPB, you can actually go to consumerfinance.gov. Again, a 5th link now that I'll put down in the show more description below, so that it'll be an easy reference point for you and anyone that you share this video with to have more information about this process and about where you can go to get helpful information. Another really cool thing that the consumerfinance.gov site has is videos about how to review the loan estimate and closing disclosures and explainer format type videos. So, you know, I can get with my loan officers. Tell me in the comment section below if you want me to do that. Get with my loan officers and kind of go over what a loan estimate looks like here in Las Vegas and closing disclosures, and that way you'll be prepared for it. Whether you live in Las Vegas or outside of Las Vegas, since it is a federally regulated process, then they're going to be largely the same. So the next thing that you could look at is getting an accredited buyer's representative. Now, there's actually a national association of exclusive buyer agents. There are some real estate agents that only work with buyers and that's it. And then you get agents like myself that I call them hybrid agents that work with both buyers and sellers. And the reason that I like to do that as a professional is so that I have a better idea when I'm working with a buyer what sellers are thinking when I list property. By doing that, then I'm also able to share more with sellers about what buyers are thinking when they're looking and to write an offer on a property. And this way I can provide the best service possible to both a seller and to a buyer by knowing how both sides work and what's trending in the market any given time. So I'm kind of one of those hybrid agents. And then you get agents that work exclusively with listings and that's it. Nonetheless, if you're looking for a buyer, there's two things that, or a buyer agent, there's two things that you want to consider. Number one, see if they have a designation called an Accredited Buyer's Representative, another acronym, of course, ABR. And the other thing that you want to look at that trumps everything in residential real estate is called a Certified Residential Specialist. Acronym is CRS. Generally, your CRS network is comprised of the top 3% of top performing agents nationwide. If you need help finding one, let me know. I am a CRS. I am also an ABR, and I'm happy to help you make better sense of the home buying process, help you get in touch with the right people for your home buyer education, and ensure that you're successful. Now, the other thing that's important to understand are how real estate commissions work. Now, whenever you're buying a home, it's really interesting, and it's interesting from the vantage point that you're essentially, as a buyer, paying nothing to your agent. Now, there are transaction fees that a lot of brokerages have. I've actually made a video about that. You might want to refer back to that as well. And in fact, why don't I go ahead and just pop the card up right here to make it nice and easy for you. For transaction fees. Now, transaction fees are not a percentage per se of a sales price of a home. Now, the real estate commissions, now if you're wondering how does a buyer agent get paid, the real estate commission is actually paid by the seller. So whenever I've made other videos about buyer closing cost and negotiating the different things that you can negotiate in contracts with a seller in a purchase offer, that's why I always say, you know, buyer closing costs are called buyer closing costs for a reason, because a seller has what's called seller closing cost. And the seller closing cost is the entire real estate commission that costs to sell that property, including all the taxes that they're going to have to pay, transfer taxes, their shutting down their utilities, the cost it's going to cost to close those out, any kind of HOA documents that they're going to be paying for. There's a lot of stuff that goes into seller closing costs, just like there's a lot of stuff that goes into buyer closing costs. So here's the good news for you as a buyer though. Your buyer closing costs are going to be less than the seller's closing cost in most cases. And just for reference, you're looking at between 2% and 4% of a sales price as your buyer closing costs. It is important to note that your buyer closing costs are not part of your down payment. So if you had like a 3.5% down FHA loan on a $300,000 house, let's say, so that'd be a $10,500 down payment on that FHA loan product, and you need to be planning for 2% to 4% of buyer closing costs, which means you should be prepared to pay between $6,000 and $12,000 for your buyer closing costs. Normally, I just share with people, just factor 3%. It's right in the middle. For your buyer closing costs, so that'd be $9,000 in this case. We add that to your down payment at 3.5%. 3.5% times $300,000 is $10,500, plus that $9,000 total money that you need to be ready to go out the door for your purchase of your new $300,000 homes, roughly $19,500. I always like to err on the side of safety and say, hey, be prepared for $22,000 just in case something else pops up, and also the leave room there for your moving plans and how you're going to be moving into a new house. So the next thing that you can be taking a look at for your home buying education are first-time home buyer seminars. And again, this isn't exclusive to just first-time home buyers. If you're the seasoned home buyer and you want to attend one of these seminars, we are happy to have these for you and help you better understand the home buying process. It doesn't matter, but there are a lot of places that cater to the first-time home buyers, since that's the again, going back to an educated home buyer is a successful home buyer. And a lot of real estate brokerages, mortgage companies, title companies will all combine forces where you'll get the best of all worlds in these seminars, where you have a real estate agent, you have a loan officer, and you have a title officer there to better make sense and better assist you in explaining how the home buying process works from every vantage point, from the real estate side to the loan side to the closing side, which would be your title officer. So all that stuff is really good and it's very helpful to you. And you can see what's going on in an area around you by just simply going into like eventbrite.com or meetup.com and see what's going on there as well, or Googling it for first-time home buying seminars in your city would be another easy way of doing it. Now, the next best source of information is going to be your real estate agent. I always recommend that when you're getting ready to buy a home and you're within 3 months to 12 months of getting ready to actually buy your new place, that you reach out to your real estate agent. You always want to be checking a real estate agent's reviews. You want to read you want to check their ratings. You want to read their reviews from their clients that they've worked with. You want to be looking at their past sales performance. And you might be saying, well, why is their past sales performance important? Well, it's a great question. Here's the thing. A lot of real estate agents, there's about 1.2, 1.3 million real estate agents in the United States across all 50 states right now. But here, most of them will only help about 3 to 4 families over the course of a year if they've been in business less than 5 years. For those that have been in business in excess of 5 years, they normally are helping around an average of 11 families a year. My suggestion to you is to make sure that whatever agent you choose to work with, after you verify they had great ratings, after you verify they had great client testimonials, is then to look at their sales performance and ensure they're closing at least 12 or more homes per year. And the reason that becomes significant is because if you have an agent that's constantly closing, whether it's on the listing side or buying side, they're going to be the most familiar with all the contracts, because I don't know about other places, but I know that our contracts change a lot. Here in Las Vegas, Nevada, it seems like our contracts are changing all the time. About every 3 to 6 months, there's a change made to them. If you have an agent that's not closing as much business, they're not going to be aware of it. They're not going to be aware of the changes, and they may not know what it means. So it's really important to ensure that you're getting the right agent to help you find your new home, buy your new home, and actually close on your new home. They're also going to be able to give you hyper-local market statistics, trends, give you links to school stats, and more stuff like that. In fact, I got a website out, andrewfinney.com. You can check it out and see how that compares to the agents that you're considering and the kind of information you should be asking about with that agent that you work with. Now, the last thing, and this is my favorite one of all of these home buying education things, this is my absolutely favorite one, and it's because you're doing it right now. It's actually going on the YouTube, searching for first-time home buyers, searching for home buyer education, buying a house, home buying mistakes, home buying tips, searching for those kind of things on YouTube so you can listen to people like myself that are professional real estate agents, trusted real estate advisors, and be able to get the best information, the straight scoop that's going to help you, and you'll know how to cipher out the bull crap from what's real, the truth from the fiction. So fact from fiction, you'll be able to get the best help. Keep watching videos like this. I make them 6 days a week. The home buying series I put out is always once a week. And then the other 5 days a week, I'm talking about other topics as well as it pertains to real estate. So tell me what you're thinking about this. In the comment section below, tell me which home buying education are you going to explore first. Are you going to go onto the HUD site and check out the home buying guide? Or then are you going to go to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau on the consumer finance and check out more about your loan estimate and closing disclosures? And tell me which first-time home buying seminar or home buying seminar at large you attended. And when you do so, just let us know what state you're in, and if you have the link to the actual course or where more information could be found, please do share that along with the city and state that you're in so that it can help people. And please don't put any malicious links in there. That's not cool. I will just delete that right out of there if I see it. No spammy stuff like that, because again, I do look at every single comment that comes in, and I do my best to respond to everybody's comment like in kind. And I will also be keeping an eye out for anybody trying to spam our community. I take that very seriously, and I will instantly report them to YouTube for that. Anyways, home buying does not have to be a complicated process if you have the right team working for you. If you need help finding that right team and getting your team started today, I'm going to put my contact information up. Tell me a little bit about your situation, tell me what you're looking for, and I'll connect you with a top agent in your local marketplace that's going to be able to assist you and go over everything with you and take the time to ensure that everything is explained to you so you can make the best decision possible. This is far too important to you to get anything wrong. So let's get it right. And if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now, like this video, and share it around with someone you know is going to be able to help. Thank you for watching today, and between now and next time, I'm wishing you and yours a lifetime full of love, wealth, abundance, and happiness. See you soon.